The first sign that the hegemony had severely miscalculated came when their advanced quantum-shielded dropships were taken out by modified pressure cookers. How is this possible? Salthrak demanded, their crystalline form vibrating with rage as they watched another dropship spiral into the Pacific. Their weapons shouldn't be able to penetrate our shields. First Officer Xerex's form pulsed with embarrassment as they delivered the report. Sir, they're not penetrating the shields. They're cooking them. Cooking them. The humans discovered that our quantum shields resonate at the same frequency as their kitchen appliances. They're using something called instant pots modified with Wi-Fi chips to create localized quantum disruption fields. They're literally pressure cooking our shield generators. The tactical display showed chaos unfolding across the globe. In New York, teenagers were using modified gaming consoles to hijack drone controls. In Tokyo, vending machines had been reprogrammed to dispense makeshift EMP devices along with soft drinks. And in Mumbai, a tech support center had somehow turned their call routing system into a battlefield command network. Sir, Science Director Valsera interrupted, their crystalline structure pulsing with urgent patterns. You need to see this. The humans have created something they're calling Project Mongoose. The display shifted to show decentralized resistance cells organizing through something called Discord servers. Each cell operated independently, sharing improvised defense strategies through what they called life hacks. One video, titled 5 Easy Ways to Disable Alien Tech with Household Items, Number 4 Will Shock Them, had gone viral. They're not following any known military doctrine, Xerex observed. There's no central command, no predictable patterns. They're just improvising. A junior analyst's crystal form flickered anxiously as they reported. Sir, we've lost contact with the London invasion force. The humans weaponized their tea kettles. They're calling it Operation Boston Tea Party 2. Electric Boogaloo. Xalthrak watched in disbelief as another screen showed Brazilian civilians using modified football stadium sound systems to create resonance waves that disrupted their ground troops' crystalline structures. The humans had dubbed it Operation Samba. What about our stealth units? Salthrak demanded. Valsera's form dimmed slightly. The humans found them all. Apparently, their food delivery apps showed unusual clustering of declined orders in areas where our troops were hiding. They simply looked for neighborhoods where no one was ordering pizza. The situation grew more bizarre by the hour. In Australia, a group of wildlife photographers had repurposed their drone equipment to track and harass invasion forces, calling themselves the Steve Irwin Defense Force. Their battle cry of "Crikey, that's a big alien," had already become a resistance anthem. In Silicon Valley, tech companies had turned their office campuses into improvised research centers. One had already developed an app that could detect hegemony energy signatures. They'd named it Xender and were monetizing it with a premium subscription model. Sir, Xerex reported, the humans have started rating their encounters with our forces on something called Yelp. Our primary battle group in Chicago has 1 star. The reviews complain that our invasion techniques are derivative, and our death rays are so last century. Xalthrak watched as another screen showed Canadian civilians using modified ice hockey equipment to reflect energy weapons back at their sources. The humans called it Operation Slapshot. How are they doing this? Salthrak demanded. We've conquered civilizations that had quantum computing. How are we losing to a species that still thinks cryptocurrency is a good investment? Valsera's form pulsed thoughtfully. I believe, Commander, we're seeing why their development patterns seem so chaotic. They don't follow logical progression. They adapt, improvise, combine technologies in ways that shouldn't work, but do. They're not fighting according to military doctrine, because they're not following any doctrine at all. The tactical display updated again. Somewhere in Finland, a group of mobile game developers had turned their entire player base into a distributed computing network for predicting hegemony ship movements. They'd gamified planetary defense. Sir, Xerex announced, we're receiving a transmission. They say it's their terms for our surrender. They're sending it via TikTok. The hegemony was learning a harsh lesson. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or their military might. It was their ability to turn literally anything into a tool of resistance, all while making memes about it. And they were just getting started. Supreme Commander Xalthrak of the Hegemony Expeditionary Force stood before the massive quantum display, their crystalline form refracting the light of countless stars. The display showed a small blue planet, unremarkable except for one detail that had brought the might of the galaxy's oldest civilization to its doorstep: the radio signals. "Show me again," Xalthrak commanded, their voice resonating through the bridge of the flagship Eternal Dominion. "Show me what makes these humans so fascinating." The display shifted, flooding with thousands of intercepted transmissions, social media feeds, entertainment broadcasts, and something called TikTok danced across the screen. Xalthrak's crystalline structure vibrated with what passed for amusement among their species. "These are the beings that have your research division so concerned, Science Director." They turned to face Science Director Valsera, whose purple crystalline form pulsed with urgent patterns. "Commander, I must insist you review the anomalies in our findings." Valsera projected their thoughts directly into the command neural network. "These humans, they don't follow any predictable pattern of technological development. They achieved nuclear fission before mastering sustainable fusion. They reached their moon, then seemed to lose interest for decades. They possess quantum computers but still watch cat videos." "Your point, Director. They're dangerous precisely because they're unpredictable. Our simulations can't model their decision-making processes. It's as if they actively defy logic." Xalthrak dismissed the concern with a wave of their upper appendage. "They spend their time arguing about whether hot dogs are sandwiches. How dangerous could they be?" The Science Director's crystalline form flickered with frustration. "That's exactly my point, Commander. We intercepted a transmission where they debated this sandwich question for 6 hours, then solved a complex quantum mechanics problem as an afterthought. They call it procrastination. We don't even have a word for this concept." First Officer Xerex, monitoring the tactical display, interrupted. "Commander, we've detected something odd. The humans appear to be miming about us." "They're what?" "They've spotted our cloaked scout ships, and instead of panicking, they're making something called reaction videos about us. The most viral one compares our fleet formation to a Windows loading screen." Xalthrak's crystalline structure briefly flashed red with irritation. "Enough. The hegemony has conquered 1,000 worlds. We've brought order to chaos for 10,000 years. These humans, with their cat videos and sandwich debates, will learn the price of mockery." "Sir," Valsera tried one last time, "perhaps we should study them longer. Their response to threats defies all known psychological models. When faced with extinction-level events, they make jokes. When confronted with cosmic horrors, they turn them into plush toys. We don't understand." "What I understand," Xalthrak cut in, "is that they're a pre-FTL civilization that thinks adding avocado to everything is the height of culinary achievement. The invasion begins at dawn." As the command crew dispersed to prepare the fleet, Valsera accessed the Human Information Network one last time. Their crystalline form pulsed with worry as they watched humans responding to the first signs of invasion. Instead of fear, they found determination wrapped in humor. Instead of panic, they discovered creativity. One transmission in particular caught their attention: a human teenager explaining how to turn everyday kitchen appliances into improvised defense systems, followed by a warning. "Just remember, folks, this is totally just for a science project. Any aliens watching, this definitely isn't a tutorial for resistance fighters." Wink. Valsera tried one final warning. "Commander, they're already adapting their culture around our presence. They're not acting like any species we've encountered." But Xalthrak had made their decision. The invasion would proceed as planned. As the fleet moved into position, a final transmission was intercepted, a human message that would prove prophetic. Dear Space Internet Explorer, we couldn't help but notice you trying to secretly invade Earth. We appreciate you taking your time to buffer this invasion.x, but we regret to inform you that Earth has updated its terms of service. Unauthorized invasions may result in spicy consequences. For technical support, please contact your local human resistance cell. The hegemony was about to learn why no species had successfully invaded Earth, and why, after this attempt, no species would dare try again. The hegemony's Central Intelligence Division was in chaos. Their most sophisticated AI systems, designed to process and predict enemy battlefield communications, had crashed after attempting to analyze something called shitposting. What do you mean the strategic analysis computers are demanding therapy? Skyheltrek's crystalline form was practically strobing with frustration. A junior analyst cautiously approached, their form dimmed to show appropriate deference. Sir, the humans have weaponized their social media. Our AI can't distinguish between their actual battle plans and something they call God-tier trolling. On the main display, examples of human psychological warfare scrolled past. Someone had created a viral dance challenge called the Sino Shuffle, mimicking and mocking the crystalline forms of hegemony soldiers. It had 2 billion views. Science director Val Serra, who had been studying human internet culture with increasing fascination, projected their findings. The humans have developed a form of communication that is simultaneously meaningless and deeply meaningful. They call it meme culture. Our translators can understand every word, yet comprehend nothing. Show me, Salthrak commanded. The screen filled with images. A photo of a hegemony dreadnought captioned, "Mom said it's my turn to invade Earth." A viral video of humans recreating hegemony battle formations using cats. Something called POV. You're an advanced alien race learning why everyone avoids all three. This can't be their actual military communication, Salthrak insisted. That's just it. Val Serra's form pulsed with excitement. It both is and isn't. They're coordinating resistance through what they call shitposting. The more absurd the content, the more information it contains. Look at this. They displayed a seemingly nonsensical video. Humans reenacting a hegemony battle strategy using rubber chickens and set to something called caramel dancing. Hidden in the video's metadata was a sophisticated analysis of hegemony shield frequencies. Their entire internet has become a battlefield. First Officer Xerex reported. They turned their social media platforms into intelligence networks. Every meme is potentially a coded message. Every viral trend could be coordinating resistance movements. A particularly concerning report came from the Psychological Warfare Division. Their attempts to demoralize humanity through targeted propaganda had backfired spectacularly. The humans had turned their threatening broadcasts into something called remix compilations. Sir, a communications officer interrupted, their crystal structure practically quivering. Remember that warning message about our ship formations looking like a Windows loading screen. They've somehow used that observation to predict our fleet movements. They're calling it pattern recognition for gamers. Val Serra's form pulsed thoughtfully. They've weaponized pattern recognition through humor. The more we try to understand their communications, the more our systems fail. It's brilliant, really. They've created a mimetic defense system. The situation reached new levels of absurdity when human teenagers began stringing their guerrilla attacks on something called Twitch. They were getting donations and subscribers for particularly creative resistance tactics. They've monetized fighting us, Xerex observed with what might have been admiration. The final straw came when the humans launched what they called a ratio attack. Every hegemony communication was being drowned out by an overwhelming flood of responses consisting solely of a single letter. All. What does it mean? Salthrak demanded. Val Serra's form dimmed slightly. It means loss. Commander. They're turning our invasion into what they call a ratioed plus cringe plus L plus no maiden's moment. The hegemony's sophisticated communications networks, designed to coordinate an invasion force across an entire planet, were being rendered useless by teenagers with smartphones and too much creativity. Their AI systems, trying to predict human behavior, were instead being forced to try to understand why humans were comparing their battle tactics to something called Among Us. "Sir," Zirex reported, "our psychological warfare division is requesting immediate reassignment. They say they can't take another day of trying to understand something called POV memes." As if to punctuate the point, a new human transmission reached the command center. It was a video of their invasion set to something called Benny Hill music, with a simple caption, "Ilmo, get wrecked, Sinos." The hegemony was learning that in the age of the internet, the most powerful weapon wasn't technology or firepower. It was the ability to turn your enemy into a meme. And humanity had mastered that art long before first contact. The first indication that humanity had moved beyond defense came when a hegemony battlecruiser reported that its quantum drive was now running on coffee. They did what? Telthrek's crystalline structure nearly shattered from the vibrations of their disbelief. Science Director Valsera's form pulsed with what could only be described as scientific awe. The humans have begun reverse engineering our technology. But instead of trying to understand how it works, they're improving it by making it work incorrectly. The display showed footage from a captured research facility. A human scientist, running on what appeared to be their 8th cup of coffee, had apparently decided that the quantum uncertainty principle would work better if it was more uncertain. Somehow, they were right. We've confirmed reports from multiple sectors. First Officer Zirex reported, "The humans have launched something they're calling Operation Murphy's Law. They're not trying to understand our technology. They're weaponizing the ways it can go wrong." The tactical display told the story. In MIT, a group of grad students had taken apart a captured hegemony shield generator and rebuilt it using spare parts from a microwave and an old Nintendo. It now produced shields twice as strong and could also make popcorn. "Sir," a tactical officer interrupted, their form flickering with urgency, "we're detecting massive energy signatures. The humans have launched Operation Wildcard." Across the globe, humanity had begun their counteroffensive. In Geneva, CERN scientists had modified their particle accelerator with salvaged alien tech, creating what they called a probability cannon. It didn't so much fire weapons as it fired the possibility of weapons existing. "How are they powering these devices?" Salthrak demanded. Valsera's response was hesitant. "They've created a new power source. They took our quantum reactors and combined them with something called monster energy drinks. We don't understand how it works, but the energy output is off the charts." The humans had taken everything the hegemony threw at them, taken it apart, and put it back together wrong, yet somehow better. Their solutions violated every principle of proper engineering, yet they worked. They weren't just winning. They were rewriting the rules of what was possible. "Sir," Zirex reported, "we're detecting something massive approaching our fleet. The humans call it Project Chaos Theory." The massive structure that appeared on their screens defied analysis. It appeared to be a collection of retrofitted alien technology, Earth satellites, and what looked suspiciously like a disco ball. The humans had built it using mathematical principles that their scientists insisted shouldn't work, but vibed right. "What is that thing?" Exalthrak's voice carried a note of fear for the first time. According to their public documentation, which they posted on something called GitHub, "It's a probability manipulation device," Valsera answered. "They took our understanding of quantum mechanics and decided it would work better if they added what they call chaos energy." The device activated. Across Earth's orbit, hegemony ships began experiencing what the humans called quantum shenanigans. Some ships found themselves turned inside out. Others began broadcasting lo-fi hip-hop beats. One dreadnought reported that its entire crew had become mathematically impossible. "Sir," a communications officer called out, "we're receiving a transmission from their command center." It's a PowerPoint presentation. The presentation appeared on screen, titled Why You Should Surrender, and why that's totally poggers. It included animated slide transitions and Comic Sans font. This is impossible, Salthrak insisted. They can't beat us with technology. They don't even understand. That's just it. Valsera's form pulsed with revelation. They're not trying to understand it. They're treating advanced quantum physics like a child with a new toy. They don't care how it works. They just keep pushing buttons until something interesting happens. The tactical display updated with more reports. Humanity had begun mass-producing their hybrid technology. They'd taken the hegemony's most advanced weapons and turned them into something they called Sci-Fi TikTok content. Sir, Xerex announced, our analysts have finally decoded their battle strategy. It appears to be based on something called speedrunning strats and sequence breaking. The hegemony was learning the hardest lesson of all. Never give humans technology they don't understand. They won't try to learn how it works. They'll just keep poking it until it does something cool, and then weaponize that. A century after the hegemony's failed invasion of Earth, their former Supreme Commander Xalthrek stood before the Galactic Council, their once pristine crystalline form now weathered with age. They had been called to speak about what the galaxy now called the Terra Incident. You must understand, Xalthrak addressed the assembled representatives. We didn't just lose a war. We changed the fundamental nature of warfare itself. The council chamber's displays showed footage from that fateful conflict. Humanity had not only repelled the invasion, they had revolutionized galactic technology in ways that still baffled the greatest minds in the cosmos. The humans didn't defeat us by being more advanced, Xalthrak continued. They defeated us by simply refusing to accept that things were impossible. When we said something couldn't be done, they didn't argue. They just did it anyway and called it a life hack. The aftermath of the invasion had reshaped galactic society. Human incorrect engineering had become a recognized field of study, though no non-human had ever quite mastered it. Their approach to technology, a mixture of irreverence, intuition, and what they called vibes, had spread across the stars. We thought we were bringing order to chaos, former science director Valsera, now head of the Galactic Science Academy, addressed the council. Instead, the humans taught us that chaos itself could be a tool. They showed us that not understanding how something works can sometimes be an advantage. The evidence was everywhere. Human-inspired technology had transformed the galaxy. Their hybrid designs, combining alien tech with what they called random bullshit, had created entirely new fields of science. The galaxy had been forced to accept that sometimes the wrong way was actually the right way. Their influence extends beyond technology. First speaker Xerex noted, their meme culture has become a recognized form of diplomatic communication. Last week, 3 star systems avoided war because someone posted what humans call a top-tier shitpost in the Galactic Committee chat. The Council Chamber's archives displayed the transformation of Earth itself. Humanity had taken their battle-born innovations and turned them into consumer products. Their orbital defense system doubled as an entertainment network. Their quantum probability manipulators were being used to predict the weather, though they were still more accurate when running on energy drinks. But the most important lesson, Xalthrak concluded, wasn't about technology or warfare. It was about perspective. The humans showed us that being advanced doesn't mean being right. Sometimes, the species that still laughs at cat videos can teach the ancient races a thing or two about innovation. A young representative raised their appendage. But surely, with all our combined knowledge now, we cooled. No, Talthrak, Valsera, and Xerex interrupted simultaneously. The humans have a saying, Valsera explained. If something is stupid but it works, it isn't stupid. They have turned this philosophy into an art form. Their planetary defense system runs on memes and energy drinks. Their quantum computers use algorithms based on social media trends. And somehow, it all works better than our most sophisticated designs. The council chamber fell silent as they displayed humanity's current status in the galactic community. Earth had become a hub of innovation, though their methods still baffled traditional scientists. They'd kept all their quirkiness, their love of cat videos, their meme culture, their habit of solving complex problems while procrastinating on simple ones. But now these traits were studied as advanced strategic principles. The humans didn't just survive first contact, Zalthrak concluded. They changed what first contact means. They showed us that true advancement isn't about having the most sophisticated technology. It's about being willing to try the impossible and laugh while doing it. As the council session ended, a final transmission appeared on the displays, a message from Earth's Galactic Embassy. Thanks for coming to our TED talk about why invading Earth is a bad idea. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more tips on how not to get mimed on by humanity. #Sinoskotrekt #HumanityFTDO. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Humanity wasn't dangerous because they were powerful. They were dangerous because they looked at the impossible and asked, why not? And then made it work through sheer audacity and spite. No species ever attempted to invade Earth again. Not because they couldn't, but because no one wanted to find out what humans would do with their technology next. The galaxy had learned that sometimes the most terrifying force in the universe is human creativity combined with energy drinks and a why not attitude.